Alright, it's been quite some time since I probably sat down and made a video like this, and boy do I got some great music to catch up on.
My tongue, a curse, a light into men, turns our swords in our own proper entrance.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It is me, ya boy, back on my bullshit. And today we're going to be talking about a project that I've been meaning to speak on this channel for a long time. And I know that I normally say this about a lot of projects, EPs, albums, songs, whatever. But I will tell you the story in just a few moments as to why I've been so hyped to talk about Book of Sorrows Chapter 1 by Scavenger, an EP that I've been enjoying listening to ever since. I want to say its release was in April, but I have been a massive fan of this EP and I really wanted to talk about it. So let's jump right into it. So for context, this was an EP that I really wanted to talk about when it first dropped. But like I said before on my update video, I was not doing well mentally and simply did not find the motivation to properly make this video. However, I could see one thing immediately, that this EP was special. The reason why was first and foremost because of the way that Scavenger advertised it, the rollout of this EP, and the absolute genius way that she did this part. She teased the EP with a story, a really well written story. I just read a little bit to catch myself on it and not accidentally lie and say some bullshit. So what is the story? What is the lore behind Book of Sorrows? In the universe of this EP, the world has been victim of a number of cataclysmic events by the name of Pandoras. And the end result of these Pandoras is that not only has the earth been cursed, but also creatures have spawned on the earth. They have spawned on the land and they're roaming and they're hurting and they're killing. The way that Scavenger again introduced this world was by the tale of someone who is going to a library that is stuck in a cursed forest, so hidden that people actually believe that this library doesn't exist. And the reason why this person is going to this library is to understand more these creatures. They're going to try and see if they can find information about these creatures and what to do with them. I'm not going to spoil the story in its complete form. I will recommend you guys to go and read it. I will put that in the description down below. But again, it is an incredibly well written tale that immediately not only hype you up for the EP, but it also immediately makes you wonder what's happening in this world. Why are these creatures a thing? Why have the Pandoras happen? Can this person find this information and know what to do in relation to the creatures that have appeared on this world? It immediately just sets the tone of what everything is going to be like. And that tone is well carried into the songs. And before I go and talk about the songs in specific, I do want to also mention, Jesus Christ, my English fucking sucks today. I do also want to mention one thing, which is the fact that every single song on the EP also talks about a specific creature that has spawned off of the Pandoras, which is an extremely creative way to build upon the narrative, create an even deeper sense of being in this world, of understanding the characters of this world. So again, an amazing job here from Scavenger to really put people into the universe of Book of Sorrows, and a big reason why I was so hyped to go and listen to this EP. Now, when talking about Book of Sorrows in itself, I can say the exact same thing that I said in the previous section. If there's one thing that you can see in this EP, is how creative it is how the ideas that Scavenger brings up for this EP are made, and they're really well made. You will not catch a singular song here that does not do something unique. But on top of all else, there is no part in this EP that I outright dislike. Like, The same way that I, for example, dislike David Guetta or something. Yes, he has been quite some time, but I'm still going after that French motherfucker. The fact that, again, every single one of these tracks relates to a creature that has spawned from the Pandora does open the possibilities a lot over how these tracks can sound like, and in my opinion, Scavenger has taken that opportunity and seized it well. There is no point in this where I don't see a direct connection between the songs and the characters that they're trying to talk about. And that is not just on things like, for example, the sound design, but also the structure of the tracks, the samples that are used, everything about these tracks. The opening track, for example, Bladed Tongue, is a great example of what I'm talking about. This served as the big introduction for Book of Sorrows and also for the characters in question. And right from the off, I really enjoyed this track. First things first, the mixture of styles present here. From the intro to the build-up to the drop and everything, you'll see that Scavenger is not restricting herself to only one sound, to only one genre. You have elements of dubstep, but you also have elements of chiptune, choir, a little bit of funk when, for example, the vocals are put in the build-up and how they are incorporated. And at the same time, the drop being this mixture between neuro and also the sort of sound design, flow, rhythm, melody that I, for example, see in tracks from Ganja White Knight, which is an artist that brings a lot of creative sounds and creative ideas onto dubstep. So it's interesting to see someone that makes me think of that as well. Also, the speed of the flow in the drops as well, them being very sharp and quick, again, kind of connecting to the topic of a bladed tongue. Again, just a great example of Scavenger just realizing the potential that she has with this EP and accomplishing it completely. It is an amazing opening song that immediately sets you into what the EP is going to be about. And the following track, Effigy, does that as well, but in a completely different manner. This track is one that has honestly kind of marked me the most. If I remember correctly, the creature that this track talks about is a sort of humanoid figure made out of like mud or like a very visceral liquid, if I remember correctly, that is living in a constant state of pain. However, every time that a person has tried to approach it, either to talk to them or, you know, making them be put out of their misery, they have been extremely aggressive. So the way that people have, you know, realized, okay, this is how we should solve the issue, is by just locking them up on catacombs. The reason why I'm talking about the context of this track and the creature in itself is because of the way that the drop sounds. It is a very different drop when compared to the rest of the EP because it goes for vocal chops. It goes for very weird, unorthodox, creepy sounding vocal chops that just feel unsettling, like the track is supposed to do. It knows what it has to do and it does it well. Also, the slower BPM of this, instead of going for like double time, for example, it goes into this very slow trap drop that again just adds to the eeriness of the song, just adds to the creepiness. The second drop as well being a little bit more complex, adding a lot more. Again, really enjoying how that sounds like in just a song. It's just like, you know, an enjoyment aspect of it. But again, the storytelling aspect is one that you should not ignore when listening to any track of this EP, Effigy included. Also, really would be bad for me to not point out the synth at the outro and how it slowly drowns out and how it slowly becomes quieter and quieter. Really liked that part in specific. Now, Skin Quilt immediately starts with a very funny, but again, unsettling aspect. It picks up on the BPM of Effigy, but slowly but surely builds up into the one for this song, whilst at the same time, you hear crying, you hear laughter. Like, I put here on my notes, I asked if that was a baby. If Scavenger is watching this video, could you tell me what it is? Because it really left me a bit unsettled. I'm gonna keep it a $150 with you. The drop in question is one that I enjoy. I really enjoy what it brings up, and again, I really enjoy how it connects to the theming of the track, which is, I think if I remember correctly, like a group of artists that kind of use other people's skins in order to make themselves feel more human, but I could be wrong about that. But let me just quickly see if I got it right, because I actually have the lore here. I'm a fucking lore aficionado, by the way. If anything has got like lore, I'ma be on it.
A few moments later.
Yeah, okay. So it's pretty much just like humans who do use the skin of other people to make themselves feel more human. In the midst of all this, humans are still the fucking worst. Like, how the fuck are we beating demons and shit? Like, again, I really like the ideas that are brought into this track. And whilst this might not be my favorite drop of the EP, again, it's not like it's a bad drop per se. It's still a really, really good song. And especially the switch up that is present on the second drop. How it goes for this, at first, 4 on the floor rhythm, 4 on the floor beat, but then you also have like different placement drums, extra samples and everything, kind of like more energy and everything. I just really, really like that. Also, in both drops, the switch up for a quicker flow for the B section of the drops, and again, just how much energy that brings as well. I also really like the off drops on this track, how they sound like and everything. Really, really enjoyed this track from top to bottom. Now, Broodmother, the track after Skin Quilt, is one of the ones that again makes me say how much I like how it connects to the characters and to the creatures that are presented through the story. Immediately from the beginning, you got this buzzy saw that kind of sounds like wasps, and if you look at the creature at question, you see why it sounds like that. I really immediately like the tone that this track sets up. Listening to it, it kind of gave me almost the same vibe as like 1 or 2 of Basics' tracks, but at the same time, there's a lot of points on this track that kind of reminds me of Tommy's theme by Noisia, especially the reoccurring key changes that happen throughout the track. And this track also grabs that idea and does it well. The drops are really, really solid. I really like how it kind of mixes sort of sound design and flow from the traditional rhythm and rhythm soundscape with that tiny little hint of bro step with the big blaring synths. Also, Broodmother is able to navigate a very fine line that a lot of tracks that go for a more gimmicky thing can, kind of fail, which is falling too much into the gimmick. Now, tracks that kind of have this idea of rolling around bees or wasps or any one of sort of these creatures is not uncommon. I'm thinking of Buzzkill by Pixar, I'm thinking of Not Bees by Space Slices, and just like those 2 tracks, Broodmother is able to simultaneously keep that idea, keep that sound design, keep that theme throughout the whole song without feeling like, hey, look, it's a song about wasps, so I'm gonna put wasp sounds. Like, he doesn't do that. Jesus Christ, the amount of spit that just came out of there. Really enjoyed what this track brings, and by this point, you can already see why I was so excited to talk about this EP. Every single one of these tracks just goes ham, it goes hard, and you see the connections, you see everything, you see the creativity, you see the theming, you see everything, and it's all so good. Now, Shadow Play goes for the same approach as Effigy. It's also a very much slower song, it's a very calmer song in terms of BPM, but it's not less unnerving. This track is a lot more focused on environment, on the ambiance of the track, especially the midsection part. That is the highlight when it comes to how it builds upon the theme of the song. And in this section, it really is the main focus of this part of the song, and it does an amazing job at it. Now, the drums are, again, not my favorites of the EP. I prefer, for example, the drops in Shadow Play, in Effigy, for example, but the way that they sound like, there's nothing bad outright that I can say. Really like how everything is very much focused towards the ambient, the environment. The second drop does also add a lot more things, like for example, like for example, the new drum pattern that is present on the B section of the second drop. Those tiny little things really do heighten the experience, and I'm glad to see that Scavenger is able to build upon the bases that each track presents. Hey, what's up, guys? Future JP Keys here. I know it kind of feels weird that I'm a little bit different now, and everything. I get it. The reason why it's like that is because looking back at the original video that I made, I was not happy at all with how I talked about Wax Blood and how I gave my final thoughts on Book of Sorrows Chapter 1. So I wanted to re-record this part here to truly give out my opinions, especially because Wax Blood is one of my favorite tracks of this EP, and I just felt that I kind of disrespected it the way that I talked about it originally. Right from the get-go, you sense what this track is about with how faster everything is. It feels more alarming. It feels more you are in a situation of danger and you need to protect yourself. You need to brace yourself for what's going to happen. And that theme carries out throughout the entire song. I really like the intro. I really like the bells, how every element is composed to again feed into that sense of danger. Really like the build-up as well, the very menacing set of synths and pads that again really just feel very haunting, and I really like how they sound like because of that. And that first drop, oh my god, I love this drop so much. I love the quick flow on this drop. I love the sound design of this drop. I love how the extra samples are used, like for example the bells. I really liked how it just sounds in its entirety. Yeah, now you see why I wanted to re-record this section, because I really like this track. Afterwards, you get a really cool midsection that not only recovers the sound of the intro, but also there's this part right after that and before the second build-up starts that just, I love it as well so much. It sounds so good. It again builds on the theming of this track. It builds on just the fact that you are in danger. I just really like this song overall, and the second drop is another evidence on that, because it grabs what the first drop did and goes even crazier. It goes even nuttier. It's just so good. This whole track overall is so good. And the outro as well, how it honestly kind of feels like it's teasing something, and I don't know what it is, but I'm so hyped as fuck to listen to whatever this is teasing. And so yeah, my final thoughts on this EP. Yeah, I really enjoyed what it brings. I really liked listening to every single one of these songs. I like how they sound, like how they all are very different, but they all also feel so cohesive, both in their sound design, in their theming, but also in how they build up the lore of Book of Sorrows, how they again tie themselves to every character that Scavenger presents with this. I really like the creativity on this EP. This is definitely one of the most creative projects that I have heard this year. And yeah, I urge you guys to go and listen to this, and I also urge you guys to go and listen to Unbeyond Anthologies, because they have been absolutely cooking. They have been releasing some really cool projects, and yeah, I urge you guys to go and listen to them as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It has been quite some time since I properly talked about an EP here on the channel. Really enjoyed the fact that you guys have kind of stuck around for how big of a break I've taken, and even with the update video, how long it has taken me to actually go and release this one. But I promise to you guys that I am planning a multitude of videos in the future. I am planning a lot of live reactions over some of the biggest projects that I've released throughout this year, like for example the Skrillex album or mixtape better yet, and the recently announced Skybreak album as well. I think it's called Half Blood. The announcement dropped either today or yesterday. I'm really hyped to go and listen to that project as well. I also know that the label that this EP was released on, Unbeyond Anthologies, is also going to release a compilation very soon, or by the time that this video is releasing has already dropped. So I'm also really hyped to go and listen to that project as well. As a final send-off, again, I would like to say go and listen to this EP, go and read the lore, go and read the story of this, and also go and follow Unbeyond Anthologies. So yeah guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and see you next time, where I hope to God that I no longer have this little pimple here. You probably noticed that I have something here and it's been like this for the past few days, and holy fucking shit, doesn't it look extremely fucking ugly. Oh my god.